Well, should we talk of the most important thing? Yes. Right now, I want to make it clear to you what the main difference is between classical financial management and the financial planning that you're about to learn. What is the difference? Before we talk about it, let me ask you several questions right away. Alright, tell me this, guys. If I'm your employee and I need to get some money for something having to do with my job, well, pay some bill or something, what do I need to do? Come to see me and get it signed. Alright, when do I need to do it? When you see me in the office? When you catch me, so to say? I take this bill and grab onto our manager somewhere in the hall and he signs it, then I go and pay. So, it can be any day, Monday for example? Yes. Or Tuesday, it doesn't matter? Alright. And when is this bill going to be paid? It's going to be paid as soon as I take it to accounting, naturally. So, if you're able to catch the manager in the hall or in his office and you convince him that it's important to pay this, then basically this bill will be paid in a day or 2 or 3, providing the money is there, right? Yes, but all the bills are always important, especially the ones I have. I don't doubt that this is so. Here's a pouch of money that you just got. What a nice pouch. Tell me, does all this money in the pouch belong to you? No. Is there money in that belongs to the suppliers? Yes. It's there and probably a large share of it. Is there money in it that has to go for taxes? Yes. Are there salaries to be paid in there? Is there rent, etc., etc., etc.? The list could go on a while. You agree? Yes. Alright. When someone comes running to you, Vova, he runs up and says, I have to pay this here urgently. Tell me, which part of the pouch do you pay that from? Well, I don't really know. That's hard to say. Alright, someone else comes running up and then another person and another and another. And the money in the pouch runs out for now and you look at your checking account, you look at the cash register and there is just no money there, you see. And then someone else comes running up to you, for example, Nikita, and says, we have this payment here and it's extremely important. And you take a look and see that it actually is extremely important. And here you recognize that I should have turned Nina down. That's happened often. If this is in any way a consolation, then you're not alone. What I want to tell you is that when you run up to an executive and ask him for money in the hall, or in the office anywhere, what is the data he's operating on at that time? Usually it's how much money there is in the checking account, and that's what we have to deal with. Yes, but what if the accountant comes running up and says, we have to pay taxes tomorrow, don't we have some money? Then the next client will pay us and we'll pay the taxes with the money we make from that. You do that? Yes. So you allocate money that you don't have yet? Well, that happens. Alright, then here's the next quote for you. The gross income statistic must be correct and must honestly reflect the org's income production. No one can bank money en route to the org, but not there yet. No one can financially plan against money lined up, and you cannot be paid from sums that will be there soon. L. Ron Hubbard. Here we get the conclusion that you can only allocate the money that is actually available, but not the money that's expected. Tell me, have you ever had this happen when you allocated some presently non-existent money, and then later you're in trouble because of this? Of course we have. The main difference is the following. From 2 p.m. on Thursday of one week to 2 p.m. on Thursday the next week, all the money which came in is simply put into a special pouch or a checking account or a cash register, etc. And what are we going to live on that whole week? Good question. You do spend money, but probably the money from the last period. Exactly, Nikita. You spend money allocated from last week's period. Why a week and not a month or some other such period? The shorter the period that we put control over, the better the result. Why is that? If you check over a staff member and how he starts a monthly work cycle, for example, what's the idea he has for the first part of the month? I still have a lot of time. I still have a lot of time ahead of me. I'll make it. If we shorten this monthly cycle up to a week, then generally the result will be demanded more often. And as I already told you, the result will be better in the final analysis. That sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Yes. Are there any more questions? Yes, there are. Why 2 p.m. specifically? And why on Thursday? Yes, why on Thursday? Right, and that's no accident. Alright, look, it's Thursday 2 p.m. and you still have half a Thursday left, and you can use that time to conduct your executive council. Do a summary for last week, draw up the plans for next week, do the financial planning procedure, and plan for all the upcoming expenses and expenditures. Now, tell me, how well do your staff work on Friday, especially towards night time? Oh, they don't work well at all. Why not? Because they're in a rush to get home, because the weekend is coming up. And what about Monday? That's a hard day. The weekend is behind. Basically, we lose half a day on Friday and half a day on Monday, and that's the way it is. At least that much. At least that much goes flying on out the window, we could say. And what we get is unmotivated production by the staff during that day's time period, right? We lose results. Using this system, here's what we get. On Friday morning, the whole company knows what it has to do. The executives go kicking the staff in the behinds, make you do things, and everyone knows what has to be done. And then they come to work on Monday, also with plans already formulated in their heads. There is another very important benefit. You have time to make payments on Friday because the banks are still open. Is it clear why Thursday? I would have never thought that such a small detail, at first glance, carried so much meaning.